right, and welcome once again, AllTakesValid, episode 59. As always, I go by Trill Trayy, joined once again with SP21 and my main man Vick. So Vick, why don't you go ahead and give him a rundown of today's episode?
All right, fellas. So for today's episode 59, correction. My bad. So we'll be talking about hey, A-Rod. What is going on? You broke this news right after we made our podcast. Now we got to talk about you. And then followed by we'll be talking about the NFL draft. We'll give our recap on it, the winners and losers so far. Right now, the draft is still going on. It is 4:13 p.m. Eastern time frame, and I believe last I seen they were in the fifth round. So, with that being said, I'm going to talk about that boy A.A. Ron. He no longer wants in with Green Bay. So, Spence, what you got to say about that?
Well, so what? So what is Alex Trebek and the GM of the Packers has the one thing in common? They're in Jeopardy. Anyways, yeah. Whoa. I mean, we all suspect that, man. Aaron wants to call it quits. If they're not gonna listen to Aaron's requests or wishes, he might chop deuces. So in my mind, when I heard this news before the draft, I already knew they're about to draft somebody that he doesn't even want. And to find out the news that the GM didn't even talk to him about their draft picks. They didn't even mention it. Only mentioned it with the coach, and that was it. So that automatically tell Aaron Rodgers, like, okay, I'm not getting appreciated here. So I see Tom leaves his organization, got a ring. I don't know what happened the same with me, but I'm going to go somewhere that's going to actually respect or maybe listen to my wishes no matter what. I get it. Sometimes Aaron kind of pushes it, but this is your star franchise quarterback at Packers. And y'all have not gave him receivers since Devontae Adams. And that was even a reach. So, am I surprised about this? No. Am I surprised this happens before the draft? Yes. So, it's just crazy to hear. I mean, I get it. Once again, I get it. But it's still crazy to hear that Aaron Rodgers say, yo, I want out. Now I'm not going to play till I get out.
Trey?
I mean, the writing was on the wall last year, right? When they drafted Jordan Love and everything. And I mean, though it was kind of quiet last year, you could tell. I feel like it was still in the back of his head.
Mm-hmm.
And then the comments started after the playoff loss to the Bucks, where he more or less was saying he wanted to go for it, but I guess the call came otherwise that they were going to just kick the field goal. So this things have been building up and building up and building up in Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers for a while now. I hear it had to do with, I guess, he wanted a new contract. Obviously, he just came off his best season, just wanted another MVP.
Mm-hmm.
So I can understand him wanting to renegotiate. They, I guess, were unwilling to meet his new details of what he was looking for. On top of the fact that, like you said, we see what they did in the first two picks in this draft. They did end up going to get him a receiver, last name Rodgers. We'll talk about that in a little bit, though. But I did read a report about an hour ago, and it said from Adam Schefter, more or less, and they were just like, they didn't think even if they would have went receiver and O-line with every single pick they had in this draft, that it would repair the situation. And more or less, Aaron Rodgers does not want to play unless they get rid of their general manager. So that's where he's at with it. and retirement is not out of the question. He's willing to retire. Like he just at this point, they're saying he's done. There's nothing that's going to change that. So yeah, I'm just saying, hey, Aaron, hold out another year. Just hold out a year.
No. Well, here's the thing. The funny thing, if you want to go business wise, money wise, if they would have traded Aaron before the drive, then the group Packers would have hit like a 20.5. And then they hit like after the drive, it would be like what 22, but like after June 1st, it goes to 17. So 14? Yeah. All right, 14. So even if that's the case, I like if I'm the GM, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not gonna let Aaron go. If he's literally gonna sit out, which he can and he will do it, you might as well just listen. You drafted a quarterback just for this situation. And the scary thing is we didn't have a preseason. So you don't know if he's a bust or not. So you gotta start thinking about future now. Listen, I get it. But you better start repairing yourself. Do not be in a Texans situation and got no picks for a while and you be stuck like Chuck. Put that pride to the side, man. Think about your franchise.
Yeah.
The owner, think about it though. Who's more important, is GM or the QB? If he's saying he want the GM gone, if I'm the owner, a buddy got to go. The GM got to go.
Well, if that's once again, like you said, it depends on the owner. Because devil's advocate, if the owner's like, nah, GM's right, man. We gravy over here. You haven't been doing.
The thing is with the GreenBay, if I'm correct, they're one of the teams that is like, I don't think they have like a owner. Like they're like they have multiple people who like owns
like people
stake in the franchise. They don't have like a there's not a Jerry Jones.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I don't know. I don't know their situation. I don't know if it's just one person or another. I know Lambo's like family is part of that. I know that. So I don't know the situation. But go ahead, Vic.
Yeah, I can't speak on that in terms of the whole family. Like if it's owned mainly by one person, or I'm pretty sure it's by a family, but
no, I just looked it up. I was right. So the Packers, they're the only publicly owned franchise in the NFL. Rather than being a property of an individual, partnership, or corporate entity, they are held by stockholders. So there's not a owner of the Packers. There's nobody owns the Packers.
Well, in that case, doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to make a move for Aaron Rodgers to make that happen. So
because everybody
pretty much stuck. He's pretty much stuck unless they finally give in and decide to trade Aaron Rodgers. But I mean, as y'all were talking about, he doesn't like the GM. From many other reports, he doesn't like the whole front office in itself. So it's definitely a dysfunction over there. Could even also be the head coach as well, which that's been reported back and forth. I think this is the best case scenario for Aaron Rodgers, just because everything was against him last season. A lot of people were doubting him, that he either was washed up because of that previous, I think, 2019 season. So with that being said, he balled out, got himself an MVP, put himself at the table to where you can't really tell him nothing. And you gotta just listen. And so right now, the GM and the head coach, they both better come to the senses quick, because I mean, even before the draft, as we all were hearing, the 49ers went all in trying to get Aaron Rodgers. They denied the trade, but which was a player, I think 3 first-round picks. It could have been another player, but I mean that in itself is sounds like a deal to me, and they should have definitely taken advantage of it.
It's not worth that cap hit though.
Huh?
It's not worth the cap.
It's not worth that.
They were already up.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so I mean, with that in to take into account, the best thing, like what Sven said, after June 1st, that would be the time where, hey, I mean, you're basically gonna have to take a loss because at the end of the day, they expected Aaron Rodgers to be, all kumbaya because they had another great season, mainly indeed because of him. But they thought, I guess, for what they did to him last year by drafting Jordan Love, trading up and drafting Jordan Love, that Aaron Rodgers would be forgiven. And yeah, we have never known Aaron Rodgers to be that kind of guy. So good luck, Green Bay. Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out what needs to be done because I believe Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he doesn't need to do anything else at this point. He'll be a Hall of Famer if he decides he wants to hang up his cleats. But I'm sure he wants to still play. But in terms of what team he'll be going to, tough. I think they'll try to do the same thing they did with Brett Favre, trade him to the AFC, and then probably make a clause in there somewhere where if you do trade him, it's gonna be 3 first-round picks or something like that, like they did with Brett Favre. But I mean, they don't really have much leverage. They're kind of a similar situation to the Houston Texans, even though that's kind of went south a little bit.
Aaron, just go back. Tough it out another year. Ben will be gone. Money will look better, especially if they cut you.
This man, they're not going to.
Come.
It's too much of a cap. It's funny though. It's funny though because Brett Favre did everything that's possible to stay in Green Bay, and they say nah. And Aaron's like, I'm doing everything to get out of Green Bay, and they still say nah.
No, I think. Well, I honestly think that's the reason though. He's seen how they got rid of Favre, and he sees the writing on the wall. Maybe it's not right this season. Maybe it's not next season, but them drafting Jordan Love means that at some point they're just going to push him out the door too, whether he wants to or not. So he's flipping the script. I'm going to dictate how this is going to go.
Yeah. And the biggest difference between those two though is Aaron Rodgers wasn't contemplating retirement constantly like Brett Favre was. So that's why the Packers they didn't trade up to get Aaron Rodgers, but they drafted Aaron Rodgers not knowing the uncertainty of Brett Favre having his question marks in terms of whether he wants to retire or not. So I mean, yeah, they did it to the Packers did that to themselves. But I think, Aaron Rodgers, if anything, just sit the season out. You don't need to risk yourself for a team that doesn't show loyalty towards you. And, just like Tray's saying, they've seen how they did Brett Favre. Aaron Rodgers has probably a little bit more power as to what he can do. And I hope this actually works out just because I want to see the NFL lean more towards somewhat like the NBA, where players have a lot more authority. Just because, I'm more, just like how you hear some analysts talk about, I'm more on the players' side than the owner's side. Oh, the owners benefit mainly from.
Yeah, I'm definitely for the players. Screw them.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely want Aaron Rodgers to kind of, just like how Tom Brady did this past season, got himself out of New England, obviously Aaron Rodgers does
I
want to
don't
be in
know.
Green Bay,
I don't know about
but he
that
wants.
situation. I think Belichick wanted him gone as much as Brady wanted to leave. That was me.
Well, yeah, it probably was more mutual, but at the same
You gotta
time,
remember, Belichick was trying to trade him a couple years ago for Garoppolo to keep Garoppolo. If he had it his way, Brady would have been gone.
yeah,
Yeah,
but at the same time, Robert
Kraft.
Kraft even tried to make a last minute, huh?
I would say even Kraft was
Yeah,
pulling
Kraft
for him for a
wasn't there.
minute.
He was still in New England though. The owner
Yeah,
stepped in, but if it was up to Belichick,
yeah,
he would have been gone.
Brady would have been gone.
Just like same thing with
yeah. If
Gronk.
it was up
They
to
were
Belichick,
going to
yeah, he'd
trade
been gone.
Gronk to the Lions, and Gronk decided to retire.
Oh yeah.
Belichick is
Well,
somebody who doesn't fall in love with players. He doesn't care who you are.
he didn't immediately decide to retire. He said that if you trade me to the Lions, he'll retire. So they just kept him, and he retired after the season. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that he finally spoke out about it. I haven't heard an official video in terms of him saying that. That's what I want these players to do, is just to speak their mind and go from there to let these teams know, hey, we're gonna put our foot down. We're not gonna let y'all dictate whenever y'all decide that y'all want to trade us. But whenever we decide that we want to be traded, it's okay. It's not okay. So uh,
Ooh.
yeah.
Question.
Um,
So
what's that?
he had a list of teams that he wanted to go. I mean, of course, 49ers sounds perfectly understandable and correct and logic of all choices. But he did put Denver down, which is very interesting to me.
That'd be a good spot.
It'd be a great spot.
Honestly, I was thinking, yeah, the
49ers
AFC West.
are out of the picture now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let
Right.
you know. They're
Right. Definitely out. Yeah. But the Broncos are still around.
And it's kind of crazy because even with the Broncos, the Packers have stated that they do not they don't want a quarterback in exchange. So, I mean, obviously they want players, but they really don't care to have a quarterback because obviously they drafted Jordan Love. So I think that's going to be interesting because even if, like saying they trade Aaron Rodgers to the Broncos, okay, so the Broncos are going to have him and Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, obviously they probably have to most likely trade Drew Lock somewhere else or Teddy. I mean, I know Teddy's not trying to be a backup quarterback, so they're probably gonna have to trade both their quarterbacks. Kind of a
Hey, at this point, Teddy is a backup.
situation. Yeah, but I don't think he wants to. He wants to accept that role. That's the thing, which I kind of find. I mean, humorous in a way, but at the same time, I mean,
Hey, it's his fault.
yeah,
He had the perfect scenario. He should have waited another year. He would have had the reins in New Orleans right now.
yep,
He could have been
yep,
running.
which, um, speaking of that, with the just kind of staying on the quarterback topic, the Houston Texans has selected a quarterback themselves, Davis Mills from Stanford in the second round, which I don't know. That's a pretty big telltale sign for me. So,
I mean,
Well,
you gotta look at it.
Is the starter, so
yeah, supposedly.
I mean, he is the starter. If Watson's not going to be there,
Yeah, well, I mean, just as long as if Davis Mills, from what everybody's projecting, he's a starter up until as long as he can stay healthy. That's just his projection. His only issue is injuries. From analysts that I've listened to, sounds like if Davis Mills had a pretty clean bill of health, that he would be possibly a mid-round, first-round pick, which that have been around the area which Justin Fields got selected. But Yeah, I mean, I still expect Tyrod Taylor to be a starter, but for how long, we'll see. Even though they don't really have a really that good of an O line, so I think Tyrod would be the best bet for right now.
Yeah.
But
As far as
yeah, I mean,
Mr.
what
Rob,
about the Raiders? That was another
What?
thought. What about the Raiders?
What about?
Didn't he have them as another team that he's interested in?
Yeah, but I something tells me
I don't like
even the
it.
Raiders. Something tells me even the Raiders will mess this up.
I'm sure John Gruden would love to have Aaron Rodgers, but I don't think he'll get him.
I don't think it's a good fit. Just based off of their O line isn't as good.
Especially since they trade all their pieces away.
Yeah, no. I feel like Aaron's gonna do what Brady did. He's gonna really evaluate the next team that he goes to. He's not just going, even though, like you said, he did list them as a potential, but
yeah,
that was a concern about Brady going to Tampa too, was the O line, and I don't know, it's just certain stuff you gotta look at, and maybe okay, I'm gonna agree to come here, but you have to sign this, and this. I need you to bring, this piece in, that piece in.
Yeah. And they also have more question marks on their defense than the Denver Broncos too. So I mean, I agree. The Broncos are the best bet. Raiders pretty iffy.
I mean, think about it. The Broncos have great receiving core, young receiving core too. Their defense, I mean, of course, yeah, there's still a little bit of tiny holes, but they're slowly filling up by the I'd say by the year. So I like it. I like Denver out of everything because even if they have to trade, at least they have something to trade with that Green Bay can use more than San Fran. I mean, of course, San Fran can trade players, but I don't know.
They might be Super Bowl contenders potentially.
I agree. Ooh,
if they have, yeah,
they give the Chiefs problems as is with the quarterback that they have. For the lack of.
Well, now you have Patrick Surtain, Devontae Williams. You got them receivers. You got Sutton, Judy, Hamler, Rodgers,
and that tight end.
Yep,
Fant.
Yeah, Noah Fant.
Yeah,
crazy.
And now Melvin Gordon's having a resurgent year. Yeah.
But these are all hypotheticals because
of course,
who knows what's going to happen. I just hope you stand your ground, Aaron, and realistically, you should just wait a year and come to a real, like a real historic franchise.
Oh, okay.
No, don't do that.
And walk along the stairway to 7. Go out a legend. Like, you're a Hall of Famer right now, but you can go out a legend.
Not at that team, but
you carry on legendary. You'll clearly be the best quarterback in the division, hands down. Not a question.
I second that.
Not question.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Somebody clearly has been popping some pills today.
Oh boy. Anyways.
But yeah, with that said,
so
enough about Mr. Rodgers in his neighborhood in Green Bay. That might not be in Green Bay anymore, but maybe it still is. Maybe it won't be. Maybe he'll retire and just be on Jeopardy. Who cares? At this point, just do what makes you happy, Aaron, And if that means telling the Green Bay organization, I'm with that. I'm for that. Because you know what? The Green Bay Packers. But
I still salty about that. I got it. All right.
Salty about what?
Nothing, man. I don't want to open old wounds. Go ahead, man.
Exactly. I don't
I
know.
don't-
I don't know what you speak of, but
I got you, man.
with
I
that being
got you.
said, we can move on to the next topic.